The Chronicles of Riddick is an over-the-top space fantasy, but it's also a surprisingly good study of political power with a lot of insightful elements. Its chief villains, the Necromongers, are a crusading army, killing any who won't convert, spreading fear, death, and a vaguely 40K aesthetic across the galaxy. These Necromongers are, like so many other religions, just working towards salvation, looking for their promised land. Only, they can't just bugger off somewhere. In order to achieve their salvation, they have to cleanse this universe of life.
So it is this verse that must be cleansed of life, so that Underverse can populate and prosper.
Yeah, there's no coexistence with these people. No nice liberal necromongers that celebrate their festivals and introduce some new cuisine to the community while otherwise integrating and being good neighbors.
Humans in all their various races are a spontaneous outbreak, an unguided mistake.
Let's just acknowledge the elephant right off. This can be used as a metaphor for a lot of contemporary issues. Some are going to go with an Islamic migrants allegory here. Others might talk about colonialism, or Israel, capitalism, or communism. I'm looking at this more broadly. The Necromongers as a stand-in for how we perceive our enemies, whoever those enemies might be. For some it's going to be MAGA or the woke, whatever. The broad point is that it's understood as an existential fight. Whether or not it actually is, that's the perception. And because there is no compromise or accommodation to be had, the normal rules of civilized conflict don't apply.
In normal times, evil would be fought by good. But in times like these, well, it should be fought by another kind of evil.
In the process of telling its story, the film says a lot about how we perceive our enemies and justify our own actions. And so we begin with Riddick running from some bounty hunters. There's some skulking in shadows, some quiet kills, a bit of witty banter before he absconds with their ship.
Whose ship is this?
Mine.
And takes a cryo nap for the long trip to Helion Prime, where the one guy that knew where he was going lives. Someone needs a lesson in trust and keeping their yap shut. Helion has an Islamo-futurist thing going, very interesting visuals, but there's a sense of foreboding, rumors of bad things on the way, even a time-honored omen to drive the point home.
It is said, the comet always precedes them.
The short of it is that he's been drafted into this fight.
If you cut my throat, I'll not be able to rescind the offer that brought you here.
And yes, there's an army on the way to invade, but there's also a spiritual aspect to the fight, illustrated through the wispy, ethereal, white-robed figure nudging Riddick on to fight for the side of good, and the necromonger Lord Marshal literally ripping people's souls out. It's not a purely physical fight. The Necros are motivated primarily by ideological rather than material concerns. The Underverse is their promise of salvation story that, like many religions and political movements, matters more as an idea than as an attainable goal. The moment of transformation when faith is rewarded and all is made right. Christians have the second coming, communists have the general strike or the revolution, and necromongers have crossing the threshold to the Underverse. In all cases, when or if it'll ever happen, well,
Take it on faith.
So the necromongers arrive, and we get this kind of crusader imagery of armored knights ransacking an Islamic city, mixed with some Iraq invasion shock and awe visuals that were very fresh when the film was made in 2004. And in the aftermath, we get two key pieces of information about necromonger society.
Every necromonger that lives today is a convert.
It's not a closed culture. It absorbs and assimilates.
We all began as something else.
You become one of them. And one of the pillars of that social structure is this.
In our faith, you keep what you kill.
Property rights and social status operate on a sort of spoil system, which ends up having some rather significant implications on succession. Their Lord Marshal is working in part on a prophecy. One of those, a child born there will be your end, and so he tries to slaughter all the babies, virtually guaranteeing that someone will grow up and try to kill him things. You guessed it, Riddick. Though he doesn't know all the details yet. He escapes, and the story splits into two threads for a while. While Riddick is having a prison break adventure and killing mercs, the necromongers have a coup plot in the works. Lord Vaco here, and really his wife doing the Lady Macbeth thing, are contemplating getting rid of the Lord Marshal.
You can keep what you kill.
Stop.
That is the necromonger way.
I said, stop.
So the necromongers aren't just this guy's band of thugs following him. They're a cultural group, a community with shared values and ideas about where they want to be going. There's also the question of the Purifier, sort of an inquisitor and commissar rolled together.
So if you're here to test my loyalty, you succeed only in testing my patience.
Oh no. No, that's not why I'm here at all.
But he too began as something else. He's one of Riddick's countrymen, and despite integrating into necromonger society, the pull of that heritage never completely went away. So at this point, what at first looked like just an eccentric death cult has been revealed as a complex society built on a unifying ideology with both a material and a metaphysical aspect, and reliant on assimilating people into it to maintain itself. People from all over become necromongers. It's the old melting pot idea. Only for them, it isn't an invitation. It's a divine command. Give me your huddled masses, or I'll kill them all. Consider, then, an ideology that is on the one hand completely inclusive, open to everyone, seeing itself on a mission for the highest good, in this case reaching its mythic goal of the Underverse where, as they phrase it,
a verse where life is welcomed and cherished. A ravishing, ever-new place called Underverse.
But on the other hand, that goal can't be achieved until everyone is on board. A single world of people, quite possibly a single person, that doesn't accept their beliefs threatens the entire grand mission, and so the openness becomes compulsion. Everyone must be liberated if anyone is to be free, and the ends justify any means. But these things are ripe for manipulation and self-delusion. It's easy to conflate what the ideology says is good for the people and what is good for oneself.
If he has fear, he has weakness. If he has weakness, Vaco,
He is unworthy of lordship.
we do it for all necromongers.
And so Vaco plans his move. Let Riddick wear down the Lord Marshal, then swoop in to strike and seize power. When the moment comes, he takes it. But interestingly, the Lord Marshal is caught in a sort of superposition when he tries to use his supernatural speed to escape the killing blow. In one position, Vaco's blade kills him. In the other, he dies at Riddick's hand. There's no scenario where he wins, but he can choose the victor. And he chooses the open enemy rather than the ideologically aligned betrayer. Riddick is now their leader, and the film ends.
You keep what you kill.
But from all that we've seen up to this point, not much will change. He's not their master, he's filling a clearly defined role within the hierarchy of a cultural and political machine. Either he conforms to the demands of that society, facilitating its mission to purge planets, gain converts, and pursue the transcendent goal of the Underverse, or he'll be replaced for straying too far. We know Vaco's going to take a shot at him. All the true believers will sooner or later. In practice, he can influence the choice of targets, and he can slow the pace of the crusade, but that's about it. There's too much institutional inertia to just radically change overnight. It's not so much a defeat of the necromonger threat, but more like a party switch in an election. Some details might be very different, but the overall policy arc is going to continue on mostly the same trajectory, regardless of the party in power. The foreign and monetary policies, the macro level, remains largely the same. Anyone that would significantly alter those things is blocked from doing so through various methods from bad press to maneuvering to knock them out of the electoral contest, for example, Bernie Sanders, or failing that, actively undermining them while in office, for example, the first Trump term. In his new role as the Lord Marshal, Riddick can ride the wave, or be removed if he deviates too far from expectations, which the subsequent film acknowledges.
Of course they're gonna try to kill me. Death is what they do for a living.
What he can't do is turn the necromongers away from their relentless drive to exterminate. He can't make them be something other than what they are. The Chronicles of Riddick can be viewed as a parable of our own political systems. It's a story that begins with a justification of the lesser evil and ends with the outsider co-opted into the machine. It's rather pleasant here, this late November day in the Dakotas. Soon the tropiforming of the North will be complete and Phase 2 can begin.